Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today on Ricksaw, we are going through and picking up where we left off from our last episode. We've completed the build to move the workbench over in the corner. We've added some storage for our track saw and our air compressor. We've moved the dust collector into the corner, and now it's time to show you what I've been up to since the last video and making everything fit together and work together nicely. All right, we've been able to make improvements to the dust collection system. We've piped some ductwork along the wall and up the ceiling for some future improvements there. We've got it tucked away in the corner as close to the wall as it'll get. I know some of you are going to comment that there's a lot of different opportunity for that Harbor Freight dust collector. Well, we are going to make those improvements, but wouldn't it be nice if we had a channel sponsor to support that, right? So they will come in time, just not right away. And we're just working with what we have, okay? So there's a little bit more that I want to do on this back wall and to the workbench itself. I think we can utilize the space better. One thing that I've been up to since we last spoke was the organization of the drawers, all right? So I actually had Mrs. Ricksaw help me out with this. And we went through all of the drawers, found out some of the common denominators of the names of the items, and just labeled those. And she went out and she created some labels. Now, if you don't have a laminator, I do recommend getting one. I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Very inexpensive laminator, works great. My wife loves it, and she had a great time helping me out with creating all these labels. Now, the benefit of these is they're simply just stuck on with Velcro. I've got a little bit of a loop on the back and some hook on the drawer front. And if I need to change things out, I simply swap the label and change things out. So fairly simple to do and really efficient use of space. If any friends, families, or neighbors come over, they can simply locate what they need to and put it back where it goes. The tool storage up here, the cubbies have been super great. You can visually see what you need, where it's located. I do need to make some improvements to this, extend it out. I think just a couple more. Having this filter here has been really helpful. I could relocate it above, maybe dual filters, but that will come in time, right? Next thing I've added was some battery storage up here. So from the bottom, I can push the battery indicator and see how many bars of battery are left. And then from the top, I simply disconnect with the button. And these are all 3D printed battery holders, okay? 3D printing has been another great tool for organization. And let me show you a few things. So if you don't have a 3D printer, or if you don't know someone who does, maybe it's time to get a 3D printer. So these are just some DeWalt specific battery adapters, and all they do is they connect to a DeWalt battery, slide right on top, lock in, and you can screw them down to anything, okay? Any surface. Great for holding extra batteries and having a central location for those batteries. Also, interestingly enough, got a glue caddy here. You'll see that this one has Ricksaw on the top. I had this one 3D printed as well. It's the Glue Daddy version 1. I made a few modifications to it, but this is a great way to store all your glue parts, my activator and my super glue, and really great way to keep things organized and where you need them. Since the last episode, additionally, I made this battery storage wall here. Everything's connected, piped in. Simply just drop my batteries on there and I can visually see really quick where they're charged. I do have extra chargers labeled in a drawer down here for ones that I don't use very often, like the screwdriver, gyroscopic screwdriver. Okay, we moved the workbench in the center of the room as a outfeed table for the table saw. Still playing around with the idea, either do I want it against the wall or do I want it in the center? Not to relocate my workbench is still one of the questions that I have. I'm working through a few things there. I have the dust collector, as I mentioned, in the corner. The inlet is actually on this side. I try to get it as tight back to the corner as possible. I'm using some Rockler elbows and a Y-splitter here, and then just piping it up to the top, going up to the ceiling. That is for future ductwork. It may come down on this side. If I move the workbench closer to the wall, then I can extend it out there. And then I could also do something on this side of the workbench, or if I have some sanders over there. So keeping my options open. I've got blast gates to control the flow. These are Rockler Dust Right 4-inch blast gates. And all of the attachments are really from Rockler. I think that's the best bang for your buck, best value out there. The pipe is actually ductwork, so 4-inch HVAC ductwork. It works really well. It's not like super rigid, but the amount of vacuum that I'm drawing from the Harbor Freight dust collector isn't anything that's going to collapse the pipe, right? That's about all we had time for on this episode. Go ahead and get your laminator out, laminate that like button, smash it for us, and go ahead and hit that subscribe so you don't miss out on the next episode of Ricksaw, where we continue to work on the workshop and make improvements for the 2024 calendar year. That is all we have for today. Thanks again, and see you next time.